Hi, this is Manuela, and this is class number 6, Your Soul is Always Evolving. Today I'm just continuing from last class, talking about entities and dark spirits. So I would like to start with earthbound spirits. So as we know, we are created from God, from soul. Soul is pure energy, God's energy, part of God, or universe, whatever you want to call it. And then we got the body, that it's the ego, which is the mind. In order to live a healthy lifestyle, we need to be balanced. It's very important to have a balance. So we are connected to our soul, to our higher self, and using our mind as ego to make better grounded decisions. Now, what happens when we die? So the soul goes back to heaven to continue the journey and evolving. What happens to the body or the mind? What happens to the ego, which is very active during lifetime? When we are alive, the ego is very, very active, always trying to distract us, to disconnect us. So it's quite natural that once the soul leaves the body, that ego finding it hard to settle down or to just simply disappear. And it will find any sort of event to use to manipulate the situation. So let's just say, for example, if somebody dies that is very ready, that had very organized life, prepared himself, knows that it's going to go, either has illness or just simply has his life all sorted and there's no unfinished business, and the soul just leaves the body really easy. The soul finds the light, goes to the light, and the body just simply, the ego also will leave really easy and diminish really easy. Especially the people that have been very connected during the lifetime, that weren't really engaging in ego-based activities or situations. You'll find that those people will find the light really easy, and the ego will diminish really easy. In situations where a person, for example, was engaged in a lot of ego activities, was very materialistic, very opinionated, and very used his mind a lot, wasn't really connected. So when that person dies, the soul finding it a little bit hard to find a light, finding it hard to detach the ego or the body from the soul. The ego will try to keep the soul down and will try to manipulate the situation, so all this sort of process doesn't finish that quick. So also when somebody dies in accident, or it's not ready as a child or young teenagers, when somebody commits suicide, especially when somebody commits suicide, that's when the ego is definitely very active, because the whole death is created by ego mind. The soul will never guide you to commit a suicide. It's ego that it's guiding you to do that. So in that case, the soul does find a light, sometimes with help from loved ones that are connected, that can see it. Even if it happens that soul can't find the light straight away, the soul will find somebody on earth, could it be a family member or friends, that is a light worker, that know how to send the spirits to the light, and the soul will find a way to the light. But the ego can sometimes stay for years and years on earth. And the longer it stays, the darker it becomes. So let's just say, for example, if it happens in the next 6 weeks, or that person died, in the next 6 weeks, the ego is still quite connected to the soul, so it's not so dark. But what happens when the soul completely leaves the body and it's continued the journey? up in heaven, and the ego gets really, really lost here. And that's where we see there is dark spirits. They can be very active. If you have them in a home, they can actually engage in as a switching of the lights, putting on the radio. You must understand that your guide or your angels will never do something like that. When your angels try to get your attention, they are very gentle in a really loving way. You might feel a brush on your chin, or on your back, or on your arm, tap on your arm, on your shoulder. Just a really gentle way when they're trying to get your attention. But when ego tries to get your attention, it's very full on and can be very full on. And I had many clients that would come to me and they would tell me, you know, oh yeah, I do have a spirit who opens the door for me, switches the light for me. It doesn't matter, it's all fine. It's not fine, because dark spirits needs to be sent to the light. First of all, they are not happy, and it's not healthy for the person that is there. Also, when the body is not put in a place where it needs to be, like it's not buried, or for some people would hold on to ashes for a long time. Again, that's another reason for ego to jump in and to use the body to actually manipulate the situations or manipulate the people around them, family and friends. So that's one type of entity. So when we keep those dark entities around us, sometimes they can attach to the body of a human. So for example, if I would have entity in my home that switch off the light and that really trying to get my attention, and I don't send them to the light, they will attach to me. So if you do have a situation like that, it's really important to call somebody, a professional that it's a medium that can send spirits to the light. Or you can try to do it yourself by asking Archangel Michael, sitting in a meditation for about 15 minutes, just visualizing and calling Archangel Michael to come and send the spirits to the light, take these spirits to the light. And that could help. Also cleansing your home with sage, as I explained in a last video, in class number 5. Very important that every time you send a spirit to the light, when you have a spirit in your home, that you actually cleanse the energy after that. That's very important. So that's one type of entity, which is attaches to the person then and can literally control that person that is attached to. Can make you look like depressed, or some sort of mental illness. Can make you do things that you never done before. Can make you be very aggro, very angry, very engaging in a very deep and dark ego situations. So it will really almost possess the person. And it's something that can happen even to the child. So for example, if you have a child and you have a spirit in your home, it can attach to the child as well. Regardless how white energy from child is and how pure, the ego will find a way to enter and to possess the child's body. And in that case, you will need a healer, somebody, again, professional, that's going to help you to remove that entity from the child's body or from your body. So another type of entities, which are just purely created from ego, or let's just say devil. Just the same the God created soul, at the same time the ego, or what we call it, the devil, was created the earth. The earth is really ego's home. We just come here to learn. This is like a school for the soul. The soul is God and a universe creation. So we come here as a soul to learn. It's almost like a contract that we have with ego to teach us the lessons here. So the same like God created soul and placed angels to look after us, guardian angels, the ego has his own, or the devil has his own, what he calls angels, what we call dark entities, which means they got nothing to do with the humans. They are purely created from ego or from God, and they're very dark, and they can come in very different forms. Does it sound like angels are different to humans? They have wings, So this type of dark entities are different. They would come in a very sort of mixture of animal, very weird animal body. Something can be like really weird monkey, or very, very different type of form of animals that we never sort of encountered before on Earth. And they can be really attached to the body. So those type of entities can enter your body or human body when the human is engaging again into a situation on Earth that are not serving them, that are much mainly ego-based. Like, for example, when we say engaging into doing a spells, people that do spells a lot, you'll find it very, very often that they got ego attached to them and they just simply can't stop doing it. That means the ego overtake the body and the entity possess the body. Also, when people live not according to their belief system, when they do things that they truly believe that it's not right, but they feel they have to do it. Like, for example, when they lie, and all those emotions, when you lie, you have to sort of cover that lie. It does affect you a lot emotionally. It creates really big dark blockages. Again, the guilt because you lied, and all these negative emotions that are connected to your lies, really creating dark blockages in your body. And that's what attracts, again, the entity that it's basically created from you, from your own ego. The ego will create the entity in your body, again, that will possess the body and push you more onto the dark side, to engage in more situations that you truly believe it's not right, but you still keep doing it. You can't stop. So in that case, you definitely know that you have an entity attached to you. Again, you can only remove an entity with professional. It's very hard to remove it yourself. The one way that you can remove yourself, beginning with dealing with those blockages. Get rid of the blockages. Say the truth. Speak up. Clear the air. Whoever you lied to, whoever you felt that you need to lie, clear the air. Release it from you. Write it down on a paper. Deal with all these negative emotions that are eating you inside, that creating these blockages, because the blockages are attracting the entity. It's feeding them. Your entity is feeding with your negative emotions, especially the guilt. The guilt is the big food for entity. So the only way that you can start with getting rid of the entity from your body is to really heal that emotion and that blockage. And that can take years sometimes. It really depends how big the blockage, how long the blockage was there, how long you've been engaging in this type of situations. So really all depends how long the entity is in your body. And sometimes it's very hard to recognize them. Usually somebody else around you will recognize them before you. Your family or friends would not notice that you're different, that your energy is different. So, excuse me, the best way to actually remove the entity is to find a healer, professional, somebody that is a Reiki practitioner or medium that can actually release the entity from your body. And then you can work slowly with that practitioner as well to release those blockages, so you're clean. Basically what it is, it's about having this soul free from blockages, because also when you have blockages and then the ego and entities are taking your body, what happens to the soul? The soul shrinking and shrinking and shrinking, and one day you completely find it that you're totally lost. You're completely lost, and the soul almost doesn't exist. It's really small. So once the entity is removed, you'll find that your soul has more room in the body to expand. So again, the more you heal and remove the blockages in your body, the more soul will expand. And that's what we want. We want a soul to expand and to overpower the ego. Because when ego overpowers the soul, when the ego is bigger than the soul, and the soul is shrinking and the ego is growing, you are taking slowly off your path. And eventually you'll find that you are completely lost. Again, when we feed the soul with light, the soul is growing and the ego is diminishing and becoming smaller and smaller, and you are more connected, more on your path, more doing what you really meant to do. And you also find that you not want to be engaged with people or situations that are driven by ego. You'll just simply feel it that this is not for me, and you will detach and move on. Now that we made clear the difference between all different entities, so it's the same those entities that you create, that are created by your own ego, they can possess the body as well. So sometimes what happens if you engage with people that have a lot of entities on them and you don't, you'll find that eventually those entities from that people will attach to you. That's another reason why we don't want to engage with energies that doesn't feel right, that are not designed like yours. Okay? So sometimes, again, in a different case, people that are very manipulative, that use psychic abilities to manipulate, they can actually send entity attentionally towards somebody. Which means they will use their ego to create entity, and ego would love that. That's the game that ego loves to perform. They will create the entity themselves. They sound like they do black magic. They will create the entity and send it to attach to the body of the person that they don't like. Person that they're normally jealous of. Even jealous energy can be like entity sent to somebody. Even if you engage with people that have a lot of jealousy towards you, they definitely have entity on them, because the jealousy would not come from a soul. It definitely comes from ego, from entity. So people that have a lot of jealousy, they definitely have entity attached to them. And if you engage with them, that entity will definitely attach to you. So how do you keep yourself clean from entities, especially in these days when there's so much darkness in the world, so much depression? So all these entities that we sort of keep in our body, that we don't release, say for example, the longer they stay, the more they overtake your body. They start to control the person, and majority of mental illness are created by entity. Like for example, schizophrenia. When people say, I have these voices in my head telling me to do bad things, that means that the entity is definitely attached there. It's the entity that controls the body. By treating it with medication, we're feeding the entity, because that's what the entity wants. He wants the junk, okay? The junk emotions, junk food, and the drugs. That's what feeds the entity. So, of course, the schizophrenia will go worse. But if you go to a healer and ask to release the entity, to remove the entity from your body, and all those voices disappear straight away from your head, and you'll find that you can actually really heal your schizophrenia in a natural way. Of course, you have to see what's right for you. And if you need to be on medication and you don't have any healer around you that can help you, then you have to use the medication. So you're going to see which level your energy is at and what can you really commit to. If you can commit to healing without medication, then that's great. But if you can't, you would have to use the medication to control it. You can use both. I always suggest both. If you ever decide to go to natural therapy, You can't just sort of get rid of the tablets and straight away just forget about doctors and go to natural therapy. No, you gotta start with both. You gotta start introducing the natural, like start seeing healer, but still stay on your medication and see your doctor. It's important to see your doctor for confirmation, to tell you how you're doing. But start seeing your healer and start releasing those emotions and those entities. And once you see that you feel really good, then you can think of getting off the medication again gradually, not straight away. But in the next video, I will be talking a lot about mental illness and depression and how that's related to spirituality and dark entities and ego. For now, I would like to give you a few tips how to stay away from entities, to protect yourself and not to attract them. And that would be really something that you really want to do. Dealing with releasing the entities, it's a very, very hard work. It's very emotional as well. You can sometimes see yourself that you're not yourself. I heard people saying that they're not themselves. They just feel that somebody else is controlling them. They sound like schizophrenia. People with schizophrenia say that they have these voices in their head. I heard people that are not diagnosed with schizophrenia that just say sometimes they simply just feel that they're not themselves. And their family and friends would say that I don't know what's wrong with them, they're not themselves. So it's either that they engage with people that had entities and they attracted the entities on their body, which is quite natural. No matter how much light you have with you, if you engage with a lot of people that have entities, you'll find that it will attach to you eventually. So there's no need to feel bad or to feel ashamed of it. As I said, it can happen to anybody. It happened to me. And it was really challenging to release it. So for you to stay clear from entities, really stay away from people and situations that make you perform actions that not align with your dignity, with your soul purpose. Simply just really choose your friends, choose who you engage with. And whenever somebody tells you to do something, could it be spiritual? A lot of people mistaken or don't understand spirituality. And they will suggest you to do something that really it's not healthy and not good for you. Do research first. Don't just go and do it. There's a lot of information online. So it's obviously ego stopping me from talking about this. Nobody wants to share this information here. Ego doesn't like to have people like us to help the world to change. So I find that whenever I talk about it, I actually have this like a throat blockage, which indicates to me that somebody's trying to stop me. So don't engage with this type of people. Please don't allow them to tell you or make you do something that you deep inside yourself know that it's not right. Engage with spiritual people that are not going to tell you what to do. True spiritual people will never tell you what to do. Will point to you and give you some little tips, but will never tell you go and do that, that's the best for you, or you should do this because that's the best for you. No. Spiritual people that come truly from light will never tell you to do something, especially not without you asking them. Because spiritual people know, they sound like angels, that they have no right to interfere in anybody's life. So if somebody tells you what to do and try to help you to change your life without them asking you to, then they're definitely coming from ego. Spiritual people from light will only help to somebody if they ask for and give them little tips and not forcing them to do anything. So this gentle guidance, what we call it, it's what you need. And again, even before you start doing any of that, even if the information comes totally from the light, if it doesn't feel 100% right with you, don't do it. Don't do anything that doesn't feel 100% right. But if you are already taken by ego and you already analyze it yourself, what happens when you analyze so much yourself, one problem, and you analyze it and you're forcing and you want a resolution now. You don't take patience to wait and to see slowly. You don't have patience for your guides and angels to help you to sort of unfold this for you, to show you why is this happening and how slowly, gently you can deal with it. No, when you actually want to be forced to do something now or to have something now, that means definitely you are already overtaken by ego. So again, any advice, information you get, you will be drawn to people that gonna force you more into a situation that is driven by ego. So try not to analyze. Whenever you are in a situation that you don't like, meditate and see what is it really that you're learning from it. Why did you attract it in the first place? And then slowly allow your guides to guide you. Ask your angels, ask your guardian angels to guide you slowly to get out of a situation that you don't like. Ask your guardian angels to help you what you're learning so you can learn how is the best way for you to learn. And that way you will be slowly, gradually guided, slowly to get out of the situation. So, again, stay away from ego-based people. Stay away from doing things that you don't want to do, where you have to lie, especially lie, and then have guilt. Stay away from situations that bringing you down, the energies that bringing you down. And that's the number one protection from entities. Let's just say if you're working in a workplace where it's definitely packed with ego and entities. If you're working on your mental health, for example. Well, in that case, you have no choice but to engage with those people. So you will have to do a lot of clearing, especially when you come from work. It's important to, even just when you get out of the workplace, just outside, stay for 1 minute on the grass and just ask your angels to remove. Archangel Michael is the best for that. I always call Archangel Michael to remove any entities from my body now. And say thank you at the end. Even that you can't see it, try to trust to that. Try to trust to Archangel Michael that will do it for you. Also, the other way is to come home, go straight in a shower. But if you could do both, if you could first step on the grass, connect with Archangel Michael, ask to remove the entities that you pick up today, and then go home, straight away go in a shower, wash all that off. Imagine that the shower is the white light and washing off all the darkness, and all the darkness is going into the drying. The other way of protecting yourself is to have crystals. Again, I have a few crystals here that I would like to introduce you. Fluorite, which is again like a rainbow sort of color. It has a lot of green and purple in, bluish, pinkish sometimes. It comes all different colors, and that one will actually protect you. It builds up like a barrier if you have it in your pocket or on your body. Builds up like a barrier that's almost like push the entity away. It doesn't allow entity to come in. Also labradorite, which is really sort of grayish looking stone. And it's really, labradorite builds up the aura, it strengthens the aura, making this aura really strong so no darkness can come in. And also amethyst, which is pure Archangel Michael's light. Again, it builds up really, really nice purple aura around you, Archangel Michael's light around you. And again, it will protect you from entities, from any darkness. It simply just dissolves it. As it approaching your body, amethyst will dissolve the darkness. So having this, even all three crystals, especially if you're working in a workplace like that, or if you go in somewhere where you will be engaged with people that have a lot of entities and a lot of drinking of alcohol, a lot of drugs, you want to have all these 3 crystals in your pocket, and that way you are in every way protected. And also meditation. So after you come home, again, having the shower, do some meditation, connect to God. It's really important, because your ego or entity can take over your body only when you not connect to God. When you totally connect to God, the ego cannot take over the body. It's impossible. So it's, again, when you engage with too much drama, even the other people's drama, you'll find that you will be disconnected. So keeping your energy clean, as well you having your healthy diet and exercise will help your aura to be strong, to build up really strong aura. Your chakras will be all balanced, and again you are more immune to entities and dark side. Also music is really good, and water, of course. I also find that a lot of people told me that, especially where we have a lot of swimming pools, like for example in Queensland, or a lot of people told me that when they feel that they have entities, they would just jump in the ocean. And that is the best way, really. If you have an ocean close to you, because it's salt and the water, it will definitely dispel anything. But this is for people that are very open psychically, that can see when the entity is approaching them. They can even see, as I said myself, I could see when the entity approached me, when it was trying to enter into my body. So I removed it immediately, which is really good. As I said, the longer you leave it, the longer it possesses you. So when you see an entity coming to your body and you deal with it straight away. So for example, like I said, you see it coming and it's attached to you, you jump in a sea salt water, in a swimming pool or in an ocean, and it will leave you straight away, immediately. The other really good way is to get rid of the entities, again, when you know straight away. If you don't have ocean and you don't know where straight away how to remove it yourself, is when you go in shower, and if you leave the hot water going, washing yourself, and then just suddenly switch off the hot and leave just cold, and that sort of time when you just sort of jump, when your body responds, that's when the entity leaves your body. The entity will leave your body immediately. Again, this is the entity that is attached to you just recently. Entity that is deep inside of your body cannot leave just like that. Will need a healer or somebody to remove it. Okay. So again, being connected to God, having your third eye open. Remember, only when you're connected to God, your third eye is purely open. Sometimes you can think that your third eye is open when you're disconnected from God and you're doing a lot of spells or engaging in a dark side, and you might see the visions and you might think that your third eye is open, but that's not the truth. It's just your ego trying to convince you that it is. It's only when you're completely connected to God that your third eye truly will be open and you can see the truth. So if you are connected to God, you will see the entity approaching you, definitely. If you're not connected to God, you will not see the entity approaching you, because your ego will not want to show you that. Okay? The ego definitely doesn't want to show you that. So only when you're connected to God, you can see the ego or darkness approaching you. Clean it straight away. If you don't have ocean or swimming pool, go in a shower and put that little bit of hot, and then when your body is really comfortable, switch off and go to the cold, and the ego will leave. The entity will leave your body. Again, don't forget to cleanse your home straight away with the sage. Burn some sage, lighten up some white or colorful candle, and that's going to cleanse your home. Also music, it's very good too, because what it does, it raises your energy vibration, and ego or entity doesn't want to stay in a low energy vibration. So if you feel that at night somebody is attacking you and you have nothing else but do the prayer, at the end of this video I will put 2 prayers. One is going to be to remove the spell, and the other one is going to be every day's prayer that you that it's very good for you to connect. That's going to help you to be always connected to God and Jesus. It's a Jesus prayer. So I would like you to use these prayers. They're very powerful and they're really wonderful. So you can either do the prayer if you find it at night that you feel scared and that some darkness is coming in your room and that somebody is attacking you. Do the prayer first, and then put a funny movie or music. Put some favorite song that you like that really raises your energy vibration, and that helps a lot as well. Again, put some crystal around your room, around your bed, in your room. Clear quartz crystals are really nice to have in a bedroom because they clear the energy. And also having all these crystals that I mentioned now, you can have them next to your bed, or sometimes you can even have it under the pillow. Amethyst under your pillow too much can take you out of your body too much, can not be really healthy to have it all the time under your pillow. But if you feel that you have some darkness, that you're dealing with some darkness, well then put it under your pillow. So I hope that this video helped you and that you're gonna use these tips to keep your energy cleansed and high. Again, I would like to mention to explain, a lot of people mistaking this energy vibration. Don't forget, we have two different types of energy vibration. The true one, that it's right in your soul, that it's in your solar plexus, what we call it, that's where your soul, that's the true energy vibration. That's your soul. And that energy vibration raises every time when you learn something, when you have a challenge that you overcome, when you're learning from meditation or from your guides. Anytime you learn and your soul grow, it strengthens the soul, and it also strengthens that, bring more power to you, empowered you, and also raise that energy vibration. That energy vibration will raise and grow bigger. And as I said again, it will take over your body, which is wonderful. That's what you want to focus on. That energy vibration cannot be raised in 15 minutes or even in a second just by you thinking positive thoughts. That energy vibration is the true energy vibration that only raises gradually as you're learning and you're growing. People that are connected, that meditate a lot, that's when that true energy vibration of your soul rising and helping you to move forward in your life. Then we have what we call the false energy vibration, which is around your aura. Okay, that's the energy vibration that it's connected to your ego. Again, it's connected to your mind. So I call that as a false energy vibration. That is just outer energy. And that energy vibration you can raise anytime. You can just sit for minutes and think something positive, something that put your smile on your face, and that energy vibration would raise immediately. Okay, so I had people that come to me and said, oh, I can raise my energy vibration immediately. And I said, no, you're not. Because I'm talking about true energy vibration, and you're talking about the false energy vibration that it's out of your aura, outer energy. The outer energy can be manipulated because it's connected to your mind. So a lot of times you will find that this is where we say people that are depressed, let's just say people that are really connected, and they go through some really big trauma, and they become quite depressed, and their outer energy hit the rock bottom. They will still be connected. It's just that they don't have much energy. They can't do things. They can't be happy and they can't smile. But that doesn't mean that they're not connected. Their true energy vibration, while they're going through the challenge, still rising and growing. And it's pure. That true energy vibration can't be affected. It's only affected by the outer energy vibration can only be affected. What happens when that outer energy is affected so much that starts the darkness to come in? That means that it's never your own darkness. It's the darkness from outer. It's darkness that the other people send to you, that it's in your aura, and if you don't cleanse it, it's starting to enter your body into your chakras, and that's when it starts affecting your soul, and that's when sometimes you come to the deathbed basically, which means even your outer soul is affected. Your inner soul, your inner energy is starting to be affected. But sometimes you find it that your inner is vibrant and connected and powerful, and you can do and manifest, but the outer, it still has darkness from outside that you're attracted. So that time you'll find that your energy goes like yo-yo, which means you might cleanse it, the outer, and you pick up yourself and you feel great again, and then again you engage with people that you shouldn't, and your energy goes down again, and that's when you go like yo-yo. So if you feel that you go like yo-yo, your energy goes up and down, that means your inner soul, your inner energy is very powerful, because it can remove this darkness from outside. All you have to do is change the environment and not engage with people that bringing you down. And then you'll find that you'll have the balance where your outer energy will radiate constantly, and you won't have that lower times when you hit the rock bottom. So I just felt I needed to explain that, because outer energy can be manipulated. You'll find that sometimes there's really false people that actually go and do really bad things, and then they come with a smile on their face and say, oh, my energy is great, look at me, I'm happy, and I feel great, I have so much energy, I can do so much. That doesn't mean that their inner energy and soul, it's vibrant and powerful. It's just outer, which is false energy. So that's the energy that can be manipulated and can be raised in a few minutes. Because what happens, you just really clear the dust and you feel better. So I hope again this information helped you. If you do feel that your energy goes like yo-yo, that you go up and down, see what is it around you that's bringing you down, because it's definitely not your own stuff. If you can pick up yourself up, that means your own inner energy, it's wonderful and it's strong and it's vibrant and it's high, because otherwise you wouldn't be able to lift up yourself. And if you find that your energy goes up and down like yo-yo, look what's around you, remove that, stay away from that, what's bringing you down, whatever that it is. Sometimes it can be chemicals, sometimes it can be people, sometimes it can be the work that you do. So again, work with your angels, ask your guardian angels to show you what is it that's bringing you down, what is it that's affecting your energy, and ask your guardian angel how to actually help you to keep your energy high and avoid this sort of yo-yo energy going up and down or hitting the rock bottom. Okay? Again, I hope this video helped you. And if you did like it, please click on like or subscribe. And don't forget, please read the prayers at the end of this video. I'm feeling they can be very helpful. You never know when you're going to need them. So lots of love and light to you, and have a wonderful day.